ठीक है, चलो कोई बात नहीं।
Yeah, hi all. Welcome to another session of mock interviews with Ankit Jain. This is me, Ankit Jain. So I'm a technical architect at MNC. I'm ATD certified. I'm active in Salesforce events. This is my LinkedIn ID. You can feel free to connect with me. Uh, you can scan this QR code and you can also join the WhatsApp group as well. And if suppose you want to have a one-to-one session with me, you can book it on TopMate. So today, what we'll be doing is it will be a mix of flow and trigger. Basically, what we will be doing is we'll be taking a scenario and then we'll try to solve it using first trigger and then we'll have it in the done in the org and then we'll also do the same thing using flow. So here we are. So I will be just so I will first write the trigger. So basically, we want to pivot the records based on the email address. And that many people might let me just change the view and zoom in a little bit. I hope it is visible.
Yes.
Okay. So what we'll be doing is many people might have different opinions on the approach because your normal common sense might say like we can do it on before insert and handle it or before update we can do that. But there is a catch in that. Let's get started and then we'll discuss about this. Like what is the catch and what I'm highlighting. So first, I will write before insert before update, and then gradually we will change it because of the reasoning. So let's do that. Just to denote, like we know about trigger framework, we'll be also including an interface I trigger.
Mhm.
Here will be overriding. As soon as I write implements, I will have to do the put the actual definition of the method. So I will write it. Method of S object, I will write it now contact. Since we are dealing in contacts, and we'll call it contact list. And then we'll have a domain class, or we can also call it as service class or utility helper class, whatever name you want to put in. Here our entire logic would decide.
Okay.
Ideally, we don't need much of the variables here. We just need the contact list. Whatever you pass,
Mm-hmm.
that should be okay. So what should happen? See, assume two scenarios. Suppose there is a contact C1. Now I write last name equal to C1 equal to. So what would happen? Like, what would our regular logic be? Simple, we'll query like if we'll collect both the email IDs and then check like if there is any email exists with that contact, we'll throw them error. Right? This is the normal logic that will try to implement. Right?
Yes.
But what would happen is this scenario will be missed in that because while querying the database, there won't be a single record which would have this email address.
Okay.
So if we do it in after, we'll get that those both will be like uh, 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 we'll try to commit and then we can mix when we query the database, both the records will be visible and that time our logic would be right, like both the records are coming in. Otherwise, I will have to iterate through this list and find out the duplicates from this list and then again do a query and check. Personally, I feel like after insert should be fine for this because only one time the logic I have to write.
Mm-hmm.
So I will be writing the logic. So what I will do is I will just create a set of string. So I'm doing an inquiry on the this set. Now I will just do a check it is not empty means there is an existing contact. Sorry, it should be like size greater than because one record it should be there in right because it might happen. So if only one is there, then it's fine. We need to check only if it is greater than one. Like if there are two, then only we should throw an error. So this is the very basic logic. Now I will just call this. Here, let's go with the very basic. First is switch trigger dot operation type. For those who don't know, trigger dot operation type is actually an enum which gives you different values like before insert, after insert, before update, after update. All the trigger context it gives you. For the same logic, we will also be preferring after update so that when the database is if it's committed, we get the updated information. Uh, so, uh, so, team, what we have is to demonstrate the concept around when to go with before and after. I had written a logic and I made it execute in before insert, after insert, and before update as well, and after update as well. So here in our trigger handler, yeah, this before insert. The logic is very simple. What we'll do is we'll collect all the email IDs, put it, do a query. If the email IDs exist, then we'll throw error. So what I had done is I had created a trigger. I will also write it. Okay, I missed writing the Okay, before update. So here, I created this check duplicate method. Here it is only, but we can also move it to another class. Like, and I can also call this create a separate class contact service. So now I have this. So your handler, and so I will calling the contact service classes method. Just to demonstrate what is the problem with the like having this logic, whatever we have said inside the trigger. Again, this is some error. Okay. To demonstrate like what is the problem, like why we should be avoiding, we should be using before insert for this checking duplicates. I will demonstrate it. Like here we see it like we are adding error if the size is greater than 1. So now suppose I have these two contacts with the exactly same email address. So ideally it should throw error because, or I should get in the debug log that there is an exception. But here when I executed that, I look at the log, nowhere I see anything related to that. Nothing happened. So what I do is I will comment the before insert and enable the after insert. I will change the email address. Here as well we see two records are trying to get inserted. So guys, the problem we faced today was that because the trigger was inactive, so we just activated the trigger now. So that it's active. So what we have done right now is we are executing this trigger handlers before insert, and we are trying to insert these two records. What will happen is we won't get any error. We are getting those errors because this we have already used these numericals. Sorry. We did not get any error right now because while querying the data again, the data is not committed yet. Now, but what I do instead is instead of this line, I enable only the after insert and then I comment out this one. Then in this, I will use the email address 18 and try to insert it. It throws me an error because during the commit, after the commit, only this code would get executed. So here I'm showing an exception. Now also I'm adding an error. So it handles both the scenarios. So this way we are actually treating the trigger, having the handler class with all the callbacks. Then we are having a service class where we are doing writing the logic of checking duplicates. And you followed the reason like why we had done that and what problems it has. Checking duplicates, it's always necessary. Like either you check it before doing a query, you also check it within the list that is being passed, or you do just the check from the database and then do it in after insert or after update. So we covered the trigger part of it. Now we'll be starting with flows. So guys, we have created the flow as well. So this is running on created or update, and we are using actions and related list because we want to make sure like after commit as well, the things are working fine. Otherwise, the scenario we mentioned in the trigger, the same scenario might cause the problem in the before flow in the flows as well. So here we are collecting all the whatever means we are collecting all the email addresses in a set in a list, and then we are querying those records. Like wherever the email address is, this, and we're using the in operator, we are storing all the records. Then there's a decision. Like if the contact means we are collecting the count, like how many records are there in, because directly I don't get a count. Like list dot says I can't do that in flow, so I have to create a variable and then assign it. Like here I've created that assignment where I'm calculating the list and getting that size in this variable existing contact count. So here what I'm doing, I'm checking that if that count is greater than 1, then we show a custom error. Custom error is again a new concept. I'm saving this. Activating this. Now I'm deactivating the trigger so that we know like this the error that we are getting is happening because of only flow. Now again, I'll be using an anonymous window. Using the 90. See, there is come up. This is so here we see the error message as a flow error because of same email address. The same error message that we had put in here. So this way we have implemented the same logic of checking the duplicates using flow as well as trigger. So I hope our audio means you are able to get the chronology, able to understand it and map like how the both of these work. First we covered the trigger, we created the skeleton around that, then we introduced the interface. So that helps us set a consistency in the naming methods. as well as we make the panel understand that yes, we have done implementation around the trigger frameworks. So this is a simple example looks like. Then I implement that. Then we have the service class where we write the domain logic. Logic is very simple. We just check, collect all the email addresses, check if the existing contact size is greater than 1. Then we add other. Or we can also throw the exception after that as well, because we need to handle the scenario for after. So after, it won't actually roll back by itself. So you'll have to throw the exception. So this is it. So I hope you got the insight. So we'll be coming up with another session in future as well. So keep liking, subscribe, and comment on the video. And please subscribe so that you are able to get through updates on the latest video updates as well.